Now at 10, Pitcher, Oklahoma might have turned into a ghost town for many people, but others look back fondly. Plus, Missouri National Guard members returned to their families in Joplin after a 10-month deployment. And a traveling memorial to all veterans makes a stop in southeast Kansas.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
10 years after the municipality of Pitcher, Oklahoma was officially dissolved, former residents still cherish the memories of that small town. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Most town structures that weren't demolished or destroyed by fire or tornado are now abandoned. According to the people we spoke with, however, 5 people do still live in the area. While for many, Pitcher is now a ghost town, for locals, it's their forever hometown.
We miss Pitcher pretty much every day. I still drive through it at least one time out of the week coming home from work.
So many residents were built over land that was hollow, that could cave in.
Because of the years of mining in Pitcher, high levels of lead were found in the huge chat piles around the town and the groundwater. Besides that, some buildings shown to be at risk of caving in because of the undermining. In 2009, the Environmental Protection Agency evacuated the town. The Quapaw Nation got the contract from the EPA to deal with the Superfund site. According to the Quapaw Nation, since 2013, more than 13 million tons of waste was removed at the Tar Creek Superfund site, intending to bring the land to a, quote, better state of existence. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be another warm and windy day for us today. Look at our high temps. Yesterday, we set a record high. Today, right at that mark once again. 82 for a high, 67 is where we started. Record high is 83, set back in 1990. So right about where our records are, you can see our average high is only 62 degrees. So we are well above where we should be for this time of the year. Also windy. We've had those southerly winds all day long. They've switched to the north. A cold front has rolled through, so now we have northerly winds at about 10 to 20, and it's going to stay breezy as we go through the overnight hours tonight, but pretty much clear. Not a whole bunch going on. We're going to have clear skies, pretty quiet. We are going to get the clouds, which are going to start to work in as we head into the morning hours, but overnight lows, we're only going to be dipping back into the 40s late tonight, so it's not too bad. We are going to cool down the next few days. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit.
See you soon. Some warm embraces, some high fives, some tears of joy. Hundreds of 4-staters gathered at the Joplin Airport to give some soldiers a big welcome home. The happy reunion came just days before Veterans Day. Members of the Missouri National Guard 294th Engineer Company arrived home this afternoon after a 10-month deployment to Africa. Soldiers reunited with families they hadn't seen in nearly a year. At least one soldier met his baby who was born while he was deployed, and the reunions didn't end there. About an hour later, 2 of the soldiers dressed in mascot costumes for an assembly at Joplin's McKinley Elementary School. The children of Joshua Watson and Colton Owens didn't know what their dads were doing. Their kids received awards, and then the bigger surprise.
Oh, look who it is. Hey! I miss you, bro.
Seeing his little smile, he's a shy boy, but like seeing his little smile, like finally dad's home. Like we've talked about it, we've had plans for vacations going to Branson as soon as I get home. And just like seeing a smile like, yo, it's finally happening after time talking about it.
I kind of felt like they didn't know who I was anymore. Especially Carter, he looked at me and then looked back and then looked back at me and was like, oh, it's Dad.
The National Guard soldiers hadn't been home since January 5th. The Eyes of Freedom Memorial for Veterans landed in Kansas for the first time ever. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has more.
Memorials for veterans can be found in many places. Most are cemented into one area. However, there is one exception, the Eyes of Freedom Traveling Memorial.
So Eyes of Freedom is a traveling military exhibit that honors service and sacrifice and also brings more awareness to post-traumatic stress, veteran suicide, and survivor's guilt.
Independence, Kansas welcomed the memorial, which has never stopped in the state, with open arms.
I love small town America, the most patriotic people in the world. And for me, I'm an Army veteran, and I tell people all the time, even the Army veterans know when to call in the Marines. And when it comes into educating communities and school groups and all over the country, this is just an incredible exhibit to do that.
While the memorial honors all those who have served our country, it depicts 23 brave soldiers killed in the war in Iraq.
They were never intended to be a traveling exhibit. It was meant to bring comfort to our Gold Star families and to our community. And it did just that. And when that was done, we realized that this was more than about Columbus, Ohio. This is about service and sacrifice.
The exhibit also honors veterans struggling through PTSD.
That transition from the military career into the civilian sector, it doesn't always come together like the veterans expect it to. A lot of challenges there. So yeah, absolutely. It's we need to continue to find ways to help our veterans that are struggling with post-traumatic stress.
Kelly's hope is that through this exhibit, people get a better understanding of what service and sacrifice looks like. Reporting in Independence, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
That exhibit is going to be at the Independence Memorial Hall and Civic Center until Saturday afternoon. To help feed the hungry in Carthage, Lowe's called in the Army, the Salvation Army that is. The organization and the home improvement chain joined forces as part of Lowe's Hometowns Community Impact Program. The event supported the Feeding the Hungry project in Carthage, one of 100 community projects in 2023 that make up Lowe's Hometowns. For members of the Salvation Army, the event was not just a chance to give back to the community, but also to share a common cause with like-minded volunteers. Missouri Southern today hosted an event to help young adults with disabilities become more independent. The Joplin Tools for Life Transition Summit was organized by a group called Impact. The event aimed to teach participants leadership skills and self-determination. It also linked people up with resources for things like jobs and housing. The summit was available to people between the ages of 14 and 26 with a disability. Special Olympics athletes in Pittsburgh today hit the bowling lanes. Special Olympics Kansas hosted the South Regional Youth Bowling event at Holiday Lanes Bowling Alley. It was a chance for the athletes to have some fun while hanging out with friends.
Bowling is a choice favorite. We have a lot of sports that go on, but it feels like they just have such a good time with bowling. I personally love bowling, but they get that opportunity. It's really good for any fitness level as well.
Next week, Special Olympics Kansas will host a leadership training youth summit at the Red Iron Activity Center in Columbus. Coming up, it was a big day for local sports as high school athletes signed their letters of intent. John has details on that busy day in sports, but first.
From the conflict in Israel to immigration, I'm Cristian Benavides with the highlights of the third GOP primary debate.
2024 at Roper Honda.
With Election Day now just under a year away, 5 Republicans seeking the party's presidential nomination debated tonight in Miami, Florida. Going head-to-head were Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, former New Jersey Governor Christie, former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, South Carolina Senator Tim Scott, and entrepreneur Vivek Ramaswamy. Cristian Benavides reports from Miami.
5 candidates sparring at Wednesday night's Republican presidential debate focused part of the discussion on the war between Israel and Hamas.
I would be telling Bibi, finish the job once and for all with these butchers, Hamas.
I would tell him to smoke those terrorists on his southern border.
And the war in Ukraine.
Here is a freedom-loving, pro-American country that is fighting for its survival and its democracy. No, I don't think we should give them cash. I think we should give them the equipment and the ammunition to win.
Other pressing topics in the third GOP debate included immigration and border security.
I believe that we have sleeper terrorist cells in America. Thousands of people have come from Yemen, Iran, Syria, and Iraq. If we are going to deal with the national security emergency at our border, we have to do it now.
The economy.
This country is in trouble, and the elites that have put us here, they don't care about you. They don't care that you're having to grapple with higher grocery prices or have higher gas prices.
Making their best efforts to stand out, the Republican hopefuls made sure to slam President Biden and his first term in the White House.
But what we don't need is Biden falling all over himself to get back in the Iran deal.
At the same time, former President Donald Trump, who is leading in the polls, held a rally about 10 miles from here, but still commanded attention from his political rivals.
Anybody who's going to be spending the next year and a half of their life focusing on keeping themselves out of jail and courtrooms cannot lead this party or this country.
Trump's campaign has suggested the Republican National Committee should stop holding debates and instead focus on supporting the former president's efforts to regain the White House. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
The Republican nomination process accelerates in January with the Iowa caucuses. Doug's forecast is next, and organizations in Southeast Kansas celebrate a year of charitable giving.
Johnson, Voorhees, and Martin. Head to our website to find out how you can save thousands on your new home at Creekside in Carthage.
All right, it turned out to be a warm one for us today, back again near record highs as our temperatures, they went into lower 80s during the afternoon, very similar to what we saw yesterday as we did set a record high of 84. It feels pretty good out there right now. We do have a cold front that rolled through. You can see the winds kind of whipping around. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, new tower cam that we have downtown Joplin. Looks good. We are going to continue to see pretty much clear skies as we go through the overnight hours. But look at these temps, lower 80s yesterday. We only backed down into the mid 60s this morning and then right back up into lower 80s once again this afternoon. Now, it's been windy. We've had those southerly winds kind of gusting anywhere from 20 to 30, 35 at times. Now, a cold front rolled through. So now we have the northerly winds, which are they're going to be kicking in 10 to 20 as we go through the overnight hours. But these northerly winds are kind of ushering in some cooler air. So it's going to feel cooler as we go through the next couple days. Also breezy. Look at our wind gusts. So this is late tonight, tomorrow morning. Winds gusting 30 upwards to 40. Now, as we get into the evening hours, they start to calm down a little bit. So the winds are going to be gusting kind of 15 to 20 to 25 late in the day tomorrow. Into the morning hours, temperatures, they drop back into the upper 40s. For overnight lows, we have clear skies right now. There's not a whole bunch going on. Now, we do have clouds across parts of Nebraska into Iowa, a couple little showers. I'm actually watching the moisture developing down through parts of Texas. This is going to kind of shoot up toward us. I think it's mainly going to stay to our south, but it is going to give our southern counties at least a chance to see a few showers during the middle of the daytime hours tomorrow. But as this wave kind of rotates by, we are going to cool down. That's about it. All right, let me walk you through the next 48 hours. By morning, mid-40s, so cool start, a lot of clouds, mostly cloudy skies. So here's the noon hour sitting into the mid-50s. Let's go into tomorrow afternoon. You can see a couple showers popping up, Benton County, parts of Delaware County. Most of us are going to stay dry. It's not a big deal. High temps 59 to about 60. Let's go into tomorrow night and into Friday morning. Look at this. We clear out upper 30s to near 40 degrees. And then Friday looks pretty good. Lower 60s. This is right where we should be for the beginning of November. So we're going to start into lower 60s, and then by football time, of course, we have playoff football on Friday evening. Temperatures back down into lower 50s. So overall, it looks pretty good over the next couple days. 54 by 11 by 3 p.m. tomorrow, high temp right around 57, 58 degrees. Let's go into the weekend. Temperatures, they stay nice, lower 60s Saturday. Let's go into Sunday. Look at this. Lower 60s once again. So we get a nice stretch of really nice fall-like weather as we go through the next few days. 59 on Thursday, 62 Friday, 63 Saturday. Let's go 67 on Sunday. Looking pretty good all the way through the weekend. Very nice stretch, fall-like weather.
Doug, thanks. The Community Foundation of Southeast Kansas today celebrated all the money it's given to other organizations this year. The foundation hosted its annual grant celebration at the Frisco Event Center in Pittsburgh. In total, they handed out more than $1.5 million in grants to local nonprofits. The foundation also handed out more than $330,000 in competitive grants. Still ahead, Missouri Southern women's basketball prepares to defend its MIAA championship, and 9 local high school athletes signed their college commitment letters. John Dales has those stories and a lot more. It's coming up next.
Dear Detour.
Big R's, Joplin.
Today marks the beginning of the early period for high school athletes to sign national letters of intent to compete at the collegiate level. Several of our local athletes took that next step towards achieving their goal of becoming a college athlete. Labette County High School senior Riley Bebb signs her letter of intent this morning to play D1 softball at University of Missouri, Kansas City. She says she's grateful to have received so much support from the Labette County community over the past several years.
They're amazing. They're my support system. They're like the back of like what I do. Coming home in the summer, not being here for conditioning or weights or whatever, they were always so supportive and understanding like why I couldn't be there, or they would encourage me to stay home and rest my body when they knew I'd been gone for like weeks on end playing ball, and they understood that, and they were like extremely supportive.
Over to Pittsburgh High School, Marielle Wright signs a commitment letter and will be heading to Bemidji State to play soccer. The high school senior is thankful for her family supporting her in a moment that she's looked forward to since she first touched a soccer ball.
They've been by my side from day one, and they really pushed me to like reach my full potential and everything. So they're excited for me. Yeah, I'm super excited. I've been working for this moment since like I was like 4 years old, since I started playing.
At Webb City this afternoon, Drew Vonderhaar signs his letter of intent. He's heading to Missouri Southern to join the baseball team. The high school senior says the proximity to home was a big plus when considering Southern.
I always loved being around the campus when I was younger, and even now I love being around the campus. I love staying close to my family too. Hard to leave them, so getting an opportunity to play at Missouri Southern is just ideal for me. It's something that I've always wanted to do. Whenever I got a little older and I knew it was a possibility for me, I just worked even harder, and now that it's here, I'm super happy. Couldn't be more excited.
Over to Carl Junction, 5 different athletes signed their letters of intent today. Hannah Cantrell heading to St. Charles Community College to play softball. Mia Carnes commits to NEO for volleyball. Chloe Miller going to South Dakota to join the swim team. Kylie Scott committing to Oral Roberts for basketball, and Abigail Wilson joining Carnes over at NEO volleyball. And today has the 5 of them thinking back on some of their fondest memories as well as what lies ahead.
Getting a fresh start, because here you're kind of just here and you don't really, like, it's a small town. Going to St. Louis a little bit, and that's, I don't know, going from a small town to a big town is crazy.
I'm definitely looking forward to playing with Abigail again, because it makes me have like a sense of home that she's there and Coach Ball's there. So I'm just excited to go on this journey with her.
I'm looking forward to reaching my full potential. I'm really looking forward to playing at the next level to kind of open up a world for me. I believe that Sarah Wall will bring that to me, and being able to play with one of my high school teammates is going to be like the best thing ever. She's my setter, so although I'm not a hitter, I give her pretty good passes.
I'm just going to miss the community. I mean, everyone here is so welcoming, and walking around the school hallways, you can just say hi to everyone, and they're just so supportive.
Just all the moments we had together. They're really my best friends. I've had the best time with them. They, just helped me not only become like a better player, but a better person, and I just miss them every day, but it'll be fine.
Meanwhile, we are another day closer to the college basketball season beginning in the 4 states. Missouri Southern Women's Hoops starts its 23-24 campaign on Friday. The Lions are coming off an MIAA tournament championship last March, as well as 2 wins in the NCAA D2 Central Regional Tournament. However, they did lose a lot of the impact players from that team during the offseason.
Our league is so good, you know. We lost a lot, you know, when you lose basically 4 MIAA players and then lose a couple other kids. And you lose, I want to say it was like 85% of our scoring and at least that in the rebounding. You know, people may look at us as maybe a rebuilding. And I think our kids got the mindset that we had last year. The expectations are still high, that we want to compete for a conference championship and make the NCAA championship postseason and try to do something in the postseason like we did last year.
Not very often that you win a conference championship in March one year. The next fall, you're suddenly looked at as rebuilding. But
yeah,
that's what's going to make Missouri Southern Women's Hoops pretty interesting to watch this year.
And that can be the nature of college athletics. You have a lot of graduates move on, and it's a whole new batch the next year. We'll be right back.
Service Medal. We're proud to salute Gary Garrison, a 4-state hero.
All right, a much cooler day for a Thursday. High temps into the upper 50s to near 60 degrees, down to 40 on Thursday night, 62 on Friday. We do get partly sunny skies. Look at our temps into the weekend, mid-60s, a nice fall-like weekend, and then warming into the upper 60s as we head into early next week. No big storm systems heading toward us.
Doug, thanks. Hey, take a look at this mobile attraction that stopped in Independence, Kansas today. It features these lifelike animatronic dinosaurs. It's part of a collaboration with a business called I Heart Cookies Company. People were able to get up close and personal with the Jurassic recreations with experiences including rides, raptor training, and a fossil dig experience. The dinosaurs are going to be in Pittsburgh tomorrow at the Verizon parking lot on North Broadway from 2 to 7 p.m. So if you see dinosaurs on North Broadway in Pittsburgh tomorrow, do not be alarmed. They are not real. If you see them elsewhere, well, maybe you should be alarmed.
Roger that.
Yeah. Sports.
We're going to be talking to Wes Brandstetter, the first head coach in program history for Pitt State Soccer tomorrow, so looking forward to that.
Yes, we will. Thanks for joining us. Morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
On KOAM News is sponsored by Aaron Sachs and Associates.